Are you feeling totally buried under a massive Primavera P6 schedule? Yeah, you're not alone. In this explainer, we're going to master the single most powerful tool for bringing some serious order to that chaos: activity codes.
Does this look familiar? You pop open your project, and you're just staring at this wall of activities, hundreds, maybe thousands of them. It's just a sea of data, and trying to find one specific thing can feel, well, completely impossible.
So here's the real question, right? How do you slice through all that noise? How do you find the exact activities for, say, one contractor in a specific area, doing a specific type of work, and do it in just a few seconds? That is the problem we are solving today. Okay, let's dive right in. It is time to team that chaos, and we're going to do it by mastering one single, unbelievably flexible feature inside P6.
The solution is activity codes, and the best way to think of them is like customizable super tags. Seriously, these are labels that you get to define and you attach to your activities. This gives you the power to group, sort, and organize your schedule in pretty much any way you can dream up.
So let's get a little more specific. What exactly are these codes, and how do they really work inside the whole Primavera P6 environment?
And listen, here's a critical distinction you absolutely have to know. There are two main types. You've got project codes, which are specific to just one project. Crucially, they travel with the project when you export it as an XCR file. Then you have global codes. These are available across your entire database, but, and this is the part to remember, they do not travel with an XCR. Knowing this one little difference will save you so much headache down the road.
So what do people actually use these for in the real world? Well, you can tag activities by engineering discipline, civil, mechanical, electrical, or maybe by the physical area or zone of the project. You could do it by the system they belong to, the contractor who's responsible, or even the phase of work. The possibilities here are honestly endless.
Great, so we know what they are. How do we actually put them to work? Let's walk through the high-level process. And remember, we're focused on the big ideas here, not every single mouse click.
It all boils down to a really simple four-step process. First, you define your categories, and you really want to think ahead about what you'll need to track. Second, you create the actual codes and their values. Third, you go through and assign those codes to all your activities. And finally, this is the payoff. You get to organize and analyze your schedule with your brand new super tags.
Okay, now this is where all that setup work pays off in a huge way. You are about to unlock some incredibly powerful, customized views of your project that were totally impossible before.
All of a sudden, you're not just endlessly scrolling and searching anymore. You can instantly regroup your entire schedule right on the fly. Need to see all the mechanical work grouped together? Bam, done. Want to isolate everything happening in Zone 3? One click. You're now answering really specific, complex questions in seconds. Just look at this example. This is the transformation I'm talking about. Instead of one long, intimidating list, the schedule is now neatly organized into these clear, logical sections. This is the power of using the group and sort feature with your activity codes. It brings instant clarity to even the most complex projects. But we can take it even further. We're not just organizing the table of activities. We are going to completely transform the Gantt chart itself, taking it from that standard, boring wall of blue bars into a meaningful, visual report.
So, how do we do it? Well, as the team at Emerald Associates points out, you can create filters based on your activity codes and then assign a unique color to the bars for each filter. Just imagine it. All your engineering tasks are green, construction is orange, commissioning is purple. Your Gantt chart is no longer just a timeline. It's a dynamic visual dashboard that tells a story at a single glance.
All right, before we wrap this up, I want to share a few expert-level secrets and best practices. Trust me, these are going to save you from some of the most common and truly frustrating problems out there.
Now listen closely because this is a big one. As the experts at 106 Consulting warn, if you rename an activity code, it will just vanish from any saved layouts that were using it. This is a huge, frustrating shock if you're not expecting it.
So, it's really crucial to understand why this happens. See, when you rename a code, P6 secretly changes its internal ID in the background. Your saved layouts, they're still looking for that old ID, which doesn't exist anymore. The fix, while it's a little annoying, is straightforward. You have to open every single layout that used that code, add the new renamed codes column back in, and then just resave it.
To wrap things up, let's just quickly run through some key best practices. Always, and I mean always, plan your code structure ahead of time. Keep it simple and use a consistent naming convention. Document what your codes mean for the rest of the team.
And please, don't use them for things like costs. That's what cost fields are for. And of course, never ever forget that disappearing code pitfall.
So we've seen how to turn pure chaos into crystal clarity. The real question I want to leave you with is this. Now that you have the tools to organize, filter, and truly visualize your project in these powerful new ways, what hidden patterns, what risks, or what opportunities are just waiting to be uncovered in your own schedule?